Well, welcome to today's video, Friday the 26th of July 2024. Here's your Bitcoin update. So yeah, Bitcoin's having a bit of a move up today. We are back to that monthly level, which is something that we have been discussing quite often. We're back to the POC, which is something that we have been discussing quite often. And we had a move down that simply corrected the move that was up from last Friday. So very much, I explained this just a minute ago whilst I was doing the live stream, the prep for this video. Reminder that every morning, 10 a.m. UK time, I do go live. So if you want more information, more context as to what I'm going over in these videos, then please do make sure you join for those live streams. And also check out the links in the description below, because of course this content is very kindly sponsored by our friends at Blofin, who non-KYC exchange available for anyone who is trading anywhere in the world. With a really solid API. So if you're looking for an exchange, this is a big problem for a lot of people, of course. If you're looking for an exchange that doesn't have that KYC requirements, that don't have those restrictions, but you can still trade it from the likes of a platform like Teal Street or whatever it is, to trade a little bit better than a lot of these other nonsense exchanges that are out there, then Blofin is a really, really good option. And they are giving some very, very nice deposit bonuses. So a 15% deposit bonus up to $7,500, meaning that if you deposit $10,000, you receive $1,500 in free futures trading credit. So if you make profit on those trades, you keep the money. So just YOLO 100 exit and you can make a few grand. Easy money, right? Easy money. But anyway, let's get into the analysis and we'll have a look at things. So the daily close from yesterday was actually like really quite good. I did mention in yesterday's video, I was like, I bet this close is green. And we have. It was just one of those situations where for me, it was just wanted to kind of sit that one out, the move out yesterday. I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in where the move would end up. I just knew it was a bit of like just market messing around type of thing. And I think much of what we saw from the move down yesterday was the fact that there's a lot of attention on Ethereum and it needed to clear out some of that attention and some of that greed and greediness that was going on over on Ethereum, wipe the leverage out from over there. And also, of course, we've seen from legacy markets that they've had a big tumble this week. So the fact that Bitcoin's actually remained fairly steady during that big move down on legacy markets, I do think is quite a positive sign. I am still expecting higher prices on this. I'm not feeling bearish. So when we do get these dips, I either see them as opportunities to add, but because we didn't come down low enough for myself to get to compound this, it was a case of just sit that move out. Get a little bit of alt exposure on the dip because I think alt's dropped a lot more, and just wait and see about the recovery. So when we're looking at this, okay, it's quite clear on the hourly time frame. Right, what happened? It has just been at session opens that we've been seeing manipulation, if that's what you want to call it, but a situation where just on these session opens, you just get a ton of sell orders that just spray into the market all at the same time, and then it stops when they hit the level that is basically what the target for those algos and all of that is. And this is because we're not seeing a whole lot of organic price action right now. There's not a lot of interest in trading Bitcoin at the moment. It needs to go higher before it brings in that retail money and brings in that interest again, because everyone that's still trading here are just the people that are left in the market that weren't wrecked from the move down. Like, this probably knocked out the vast majority of traders and they have no capital left. So it's going to take time for that to start to build back up again. What we're left with is just a bit of a wasteland where there's not a lot going on and it is just chopping around. So last Friday, of course, as the New York session opened, we had a big breakout that took us up towards that monthly level, which is a key level for this entire month, because we have been trading just from monthly to monthly since February, March kind of time. And I do believe that this monthly level at 67,470 is going to be key as we go in towards the end of the month as well. So you had that big move up. You then put in a little bit of a distribution, you correct it. All right, and where this came back down into is an untapped daily level and NPOCs from the move up, and also coming back into I drew an anchored VWAP from here, so I've been drawing them from these lows, but essentially where we started to see this move, okay, that last little sweep that started to see this move, this is like the anchored VWAP that we're looking at for the current trend that we're in. And that was also adding a little bit of confluence here as well. Then what happened yesterday, New York Open, you have this sideways chop. It looks really weak, okay? What happens? You come down, run stops of any early longs, an immediate reversal, and then it just hasn't really looked back from that point. So a nice recovery from the market. But once again here, we are at resistance. We're back at that monthly level. It will need some volume and some fairly significant volume in order to break through this and to go higher. If this is to go any higher, then of course weekly open, we have been in a downtrend for most of this week. You could now say that that is essentially broken with the consolidation around this previous high here. But if we can get through this monthly level, I think there's a very, very strong possibility that we can come and take out these weekly highs and move on towards the value area high of the range, which is sitting around about that 69,900 area. So if we just zoom out over here, we can see just below 70K. Okay, you got that range value area high, and you've also got some significant candles from the previous month. Okay, these ones being when we had the CPI, PPI data and FOMC stuff from last week. There are news wicks up here that the market will at some point take out, and then just above there you do have a little bit of an imbalance, but before you get to these highs. So there will need to be quite a lot of volume in order to get up there, but I think the recovery that we've seen so far has been quite decent. Of course, we're seeing a move up so far on the day, but it is at that resistance now. It's back at that POC. So more chop, more consolidation is probably the most likely thing that we're going to see here. When we go down, let's have a look at something else interesting that happened yesterday. Was if we look at the order flow here, we can see the example, and this is what I was talking about earlier, and Delirium also mentioned in the chat. So it has been a case of when you get these session opens, so Asia open yesterday, it is just sell until it reaches a point, and then it kind of shuts off and just you get that sideways. Yesterday on the New York Open, perps, probably Binance, I wasn't actually watching this at the time, probably Binance just smash that sell button to run all the stops from any early longs that were here yesterday. You get that big move down on the CVD, and then an immediate recovery. What happens here is you actually start to form some nice little divergences on these lows, and then you get a bit of a move up subsequent to that. So the CVD is telling you a few things. Once again, this move that we're seeing right now, mainly perps led. You had a rally that was relatively equal between spot and perps. Okay, and in fact it was spot that was leading a lot of this drive higher. However, right now we are seeing that because we've come back into that monthly level, this being a key level for the whole market, spot's kind of shut down somewhat. Perps leading this rally higher. I would say if there is to be a sweep of the highs so far today, that would provide a nice short opportunity if that is to happen. If we go and take a quick look on EXO as well, do we have everything that we want to see on EXO? Yes, we do. So that is good. Then, of course, go back to this. Then the move down yesterday, we did see that it filled the single prints and came back into the naked time point of control, but without taking out these lows. So you came back into that initial balance from that Friday, recovered the whole move up to the downside. But what this has done has left once again, points of control below price right now. So we had this open today that was outside of that value area from yesterday, above that initial balance from yesterday. We have seen a markup, but we're coming back into, of course, some major resistance up here where you do have quite nice balance. If you were to put a composite of this upper range, then we'd find that we've rejected around about the POC of that monthly level, all of those kind of things again. So if there is to be more chop here, then 64,200 becomes another really good level to be looking at, to hold as support as we go into to the next week. So maybe early next week. We do, of course, have FOMC next week, which will be interesting. So there is likely to be more chop until we go into that. Very, very often for the last few months, well, for as long as recent memory, really, every time we have had FOMC data, we have seen a dump the day before that then gets recovered on the day that the FOMC data comes out. So FOMC being, I believe, next Thursday, Wednesday, one of those days. But the day before, okay, that 64,200 could come into play, and I think could give a really nice opportunity for a long trade, depending on where the market ends up when we get to that point. But it's likely, all right, once again, that this, because it's been quite a fast move up, at some stage does get corrected. I repeat stuff that I've said previously. This here, okay, the move that we had on that Friday and over the weekend from the 12th to the 14th, I do consider to be a major breakout from the downtrend. So I don't want to see price coming back down into these zones down here, into these points of control, and any imbalance that's down here. However, everything within this range, I would expect to continue to trade within this range until it's got to a point where it's consolidated so much that it's all cleaned up and there's nothing left to squeeze, and then you get a bit of a squeeze. So maybe we see some kind of situation where this just trades within these kind of parameters here, chops around, and then eventually you get that bigger break in whichever direction it's going to be after we have the FOMC data next week. Is there anything else that we can look at on here? Yeah, I think really the main trade I'd be looking at would just be an SFP of these highs so far today. Because of what we're seeing on the CVD, if this high does get taken, let's put an alert on there. I think a short would be pretty good, right? Yeah, a short would be pretty good. And then you have a target, I mean, potentially as low down as that 64,200 level. So if you give yourself a bit of room here, you could get a trade that takes you all the way back down. Of course, the reversal that did happen yesterday did create this single print. Now that has been filled back in before we got this next move up. But there's absolutely no reason why price can't come back down here again and just continue within this little bit of a range that we're trading right now. So you do have the potential for a really nice trade. Now, you're going to have to lose daily open. That's going to be support. You're going to be trading a local range within there. But I'd say targeting some short positions for the remainder of the day would be decent. And the point in which you would then get invalidated for any of that is if weekly open gets reclaimed. And then I think it's very likely we see that move up towards 70K. That could happen today. Okay. So if there's not going to be an SFP for these highs here, I think realistically, we're probably going to end up seeing 69,900, 70K today or over the weekend. So here's your opportunity for sure. If it doesn't work out, it's quite a long way higher. And I think there is the potential for this to squeeze if this does go any higher. So yeah, those are the levels. If there is to be a move down, 64,200 looks interesting. If there is to be an SFP of these local highs, I think that gives a decent opportunity for short. If there isn't, then I do believe we see a short squeeze towards 69,900, 70K. And at that point, I mean, yeah, that you could be seeing new all-time highs. Now, I don't think that's likely to happen until FOMC is done next week, but those are the main levels for myself to be looking at today. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. Nothing too much more to speak about. Of course, if there is going to be a sweep of these highs, and if that does happen, be aware of where your session VWAP is. All right, we are trending up today so far quite clearly. The session VWAP is not very far away. You would want to take profit, I would say, quite quickly on that. So if there is to be a sweep of these highs, get that take profit here because it could very easily get that continuation higher. So you want to make sure you're paying yourself, especially on these short positions, because the moves down are relatively short-lived right now. And I do believe that the overall move from this market is to continue with the trend that we've seen, which is higher prices over the next few weeks and few months. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to do the stream. Make sure you smash a like on this video. Hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I will, well, have a great weekend, because it is a Friday. And I'll be back again with another update on Monday. I'll see you again very soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.